Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday afternoon. It's Tracy Baker here with the Healthy You community. We have a fantastic show planned for you today. The comments have been going crazy all week because Krystalle is here to tell us how she went from juicers are crazy to changing people's lives through juicing. And it's a weekly show for us every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Eastern. And you'll see a couple of extra people in the comment stream because Google Plus is amazing. When you put out the call for help to get Comment Tracker working 4 minutes before the show's to air, everybody hops in and helps us out. And Kristen is going to be with us through the whole show, acting as wingman. And if we are all nice to her for the whole half an hour, she's going to stay on with Healthy You wingman status and help with Comment Tracker and get y'all's views onto air and questions onto air. So really appreciate you being here for us. And I know everybody's incredibly anxious. I don't want to waste any more time. Krystalle, how did you start juicing? Who told you to go juice and you said you're crazy? Tell us your story.
Well, pretty much from the very beginning when I heard about juicing, I thought, that's nuts. Nothing about that makes sense. Okay, and then I said, wait a second. Maybe I'm not understanding something well here. So let me just get this straight. You are purposely only drinking liquid, much of it not very sweetened, for multiple days in a row? Do I really have this right? Yeah, Krystalle, that's what you do. That's what juicing is. No. No, I'm Italian. That does not sound fun to me. The funny thing about that is I was at the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center where I lived and worked for 2 years. It's a raw food retreat center, and one of their primary showcase programs is called spiritual fasting. And it's all about juice fasting, and they do their juice fasts for 7 days. So, you know, I not only was in the community and seeing people do it, but it was part of my job to support people in juicing. So, you know, I had to learn really quickly, okay, first of all, I can't be judging people about this, right, because I'm supporting them. Like, I'm supposed to be your support system, and I don't get this stuff. It's not that I didn't get it. I understood the principle behind it. Okay, yeah, that's nice, you're cleansing, but, I mean, what, do I look like I need to lose weight? It just didn't click for me until one fateful day. And I didn't really start just juicing on my own. I didn't go, oh, okay, it's finally a good idea. I mean, it happened a very different way for me. I actually, I had a pretty strong practice at the time. I did a lot of Native American spiritual study, and oh my gosh, I just looked at myself on the other screen, and the screen has me frozen in the funniest face. Okay, so I actually did a vision quest. So I went out into the desert between 2 waterfalls. It was really cool. It was beautiful. In the middle of the desert, high mountain desert, and I did a water fast for 3 days. But the whole idea wasn't that I was going to go do a water fast. I was going to do a vision quest, and that's just what you do on a vision quest. So, you know, I had this. Go ahead, Tracy.
Okay. Did you do this vision quest with an organized group? There are people there to help you just in case you passed out from lack of water, heat of the desert.
No.
Okay, we're going to have you on for the next show.
Right, we're going to have to explore that one another time. No, but I had a support system in place. I had, you know, very strong spiritual people who were anchoring the quest and people who knew where I was. But even though, I mean, I was like, to get to where I was, you drove 20 minutes and then hiked another 30. So I was pretty far out there. I don't recommend, you know, this is not a practice I recommend people do. I'm just kind of tell you this is pretty extreme. For me, it took an extreme thing for me to understand how sometimes things that seem extreme can be a really big blessing. And the spiritual fast for me, that's what did it for me, because I wasn't excited about the water fast part, but I was excited about, I did feel very called to go out into the desert and be in nature for 3. I had never done anything like that. I didn't even grow up camping. I mean, and there were like, there's animals out there and all kinds of stuff, you know. I mean, if you think the woods are quiet at night, think again. Okay. So, but it was fun and it was amazing, and I had a wonderful time. And at the end of those 3 days, I hiked back home and went, well, come on, if I can drink water for 3 days and be not only fine but happy and feel good, well, I can do it with juice, because juice is loaded with minerals and nutrients, and water is water, right? So then when I finally did a juice cleanse, it was like, oh, this is a piece of cake. I got this covered. So
but you don't recommend people going on obviously an out in the woods spirit journey without a whole lot of something and planning at least.
To be 100% perfectly clear, if you are ever called to do a vision quest, be sure you have support, and be sure you have a really good support system in place. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I thought about juicing. I thought it was nuts. I didn't see any point to it until I did my own little quest and had an experience with it. And then I started, you know, this is the tree of life. I mean, miraculous things happen there. People reverse diabetes. People heal from different diseases. So, you know, I saw that juicing was very effective. I had no qualms that it was effective. I knew it was effective. I just didn't have a little box for how it was effective for me. And so you've gone from, I don't understand it, but I'm working in the industry anyway and helping people with it, to having this quest to where you realize your body can handle the pasta as an Italian, and now you're moving into, I want to try this. Did you jump right into a 3-day fast, or is that the only way you can juice, or can you juice and eat solid foods at the same time? Tell us about the kind of middle of your path. The in-between. Yeah, you can definitely juice and have solid foods, and that's what I mostly did. I'd have, you know, a glass of juice in the morning and then eat food the rest of the day, or a glass of juice in the morning and then maybe one later for a snack. The things that work best with juice are to always have juice on an empty stomach. Juice on an empty stomach. The people I've heard say, oh, I don't digest juice well, it doesn't do very well for me, usually are people who are drinking juice with a meal. Juice is instant. It's instant infusion of nutrients into your blood, into your cells, into your body. So when you're drinking juice, it's going right into your body. You're getting immediate benefit from it. When you're eating food, you have to digest it. It takes energy to do that, and so, you know, your body has this, whoa, instant nutrients. Whoa, wait, I have to digest it. You know, it just gets a little, doesn't get confused. Your body's very intelligent, but it's much easier on digestion to have juice by itself.
Is there, for those people out there that think, I can't just drink a juice for breakfast and not eat something solid, is there a juice and then maybe 45 minutes, an hour later, since it's so readily absorbed, that then they can eat, you know, an egg white omelet and something healthy? You don't want to do that and then go get, I don't know, an egg McMuffin or something bad for you, or pancakes. But is there I can do it in an hour? How long does it take that juice to really get into the system to where you can eat next?
Give yourself 30-ish minutes for your juice to be all the way settled, and then, yeah, it doesn't take long. But you know, if you give it a chance, I mean, if you just down your juice and you wait 30 minutes, yeah, you're gonna be hungry. So, but if you give it a chance, I mean, when you juice, there's this little thing you do, especially when you're doing a juice cleanse, where we tell people chew your juice, and what that means is don't just down it. You know, drink it, hold it in your mouth a little bit, like taste it, feel it a little bit, and then, like, you know, experience your juice, just like you say chew your food. So, you know, experience your juice, let the flavors, you know, get a sense of what the flavors are and what's in it and what it's really doing for you. Let yourself literally drink it in on multiple levels. You will be surprised at how, and I was definitely surprised at how nourishing juice is.
So you mentioned really experience what the juice is doing for you. Can you touch a little bit on that? What really is the juice doing for you?
Well, on a physical level, it's definitely giving you things like minerals, enzymes, nutrients. There are some types of, I mean, it's giving you a huge burst of flavor, which is really nice. If you think of it as it's very hydrating, it's giving you energy. I saw someone just posted juice. Fresh juice gives me a buzz. That comes from Cheryl. So yeah, definitely, that's exactly what juice does. Thanks. Look at that. Go Wing Girl. Go Wing Girl. All right. Thanks, Kristen. So yeah, fresh juice definitely gives you a buzz, and I've had a number of people after doing a multiple day juice cleanse say, you know, I'm just not even interested in coffee anymore. Juice does a better job as far as energy, because it's mental clarity. You don't have a crash when you juice. You just feel good.
You don't, I mean, is there, so let me backtrack a little, because I'm still, of course, confused. I'm one of those green drink drinkers, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But is there a preference to, on day one, I'm going to drink carrot juice. I'm going to drink beet juice. I'm going to drink, oh, my husband gets the kitchen messy with apples and that grass stuff. I can't even think of the name of it because I don't put it in my green drink. Yeah. And so it's just, are you supposed to be drinking a specific kind of juice? Or what's the best way to start? Just grab 5 pounds of carrots and go for it?
Yeah. Something like that. Something like that. So in our juice, part of our juice program that we have available for people, there's a recipe book, and it gives you a bunch of different recipes to choose from. Now, if you're a person who has blood sugar challenges, which either means diabetes or if you're a person who knows that you go into pretty big blood sugar swings, it's best to use low sugar content fruits and vegetables. What that looks like is all the greens are fine. All the green leafies, you can juice as much of those as you want. Cucumber's awesome. Celery is awesome. You know, things for spice like ginger, things for flavor like lemon, those are all awesome. Be careful when it comes to the fruits if you have blood sugar challenges. Keep it really simple and low glycemic. Green apple is a really good way to sweeten juices without adding a lot of sugar that's going to kick your blood sugar into, you know, craziness. So the general rule of thumb when you're building your own juice recipe is about 50% cucumber or celery or some combination, about maybe 20 to 30% green apple, and then the rest of it is greens, like leafy greens, and then like ginger, spicy things like that, lemon.
What was that comment you had on the screen for us, Kristen?
So it's a comment from Cheryl asking about what's good juicing for all around nutrition for someone who's not able to eat solid foods for a couple of weeks. No dairies, nothing, or nothing very acidic. And looks like Cheryl and a lot of people who are out there in the audience today actually do have juices.
That's awesome. A juicer is a very good start if you're making juice. And so I think what I'll do first is cover the difference between juice and blending or juicing and smoothies, and I'll come back to Cheryl's question of what to juice, because I just covered that a little bit with that. Here's how you build a juice if you're trying to make your own recipe. I get this question a lot. What's the difference between juice and smoothies? And it's funny because some people ask it from, hey, Crystal, I've heard of juicing and I've heard of smoothies, and what's the difference and which one's better? And I also hear people come to me and say, oh yeah, I love juice. I make it every morning in my Vitamix. And I go, whoa, Vitamix is not a juicer. It's a blender, and it makes great smoothies, and it's an amazing piece of equipment. There is a difference between juice and smoothies. Remember I said juice goes right into your tissues. It's instant minerals, nutrients, hydration. Smoothies, because what happens in a juicer, I'll go back to juicer. A juicer, you put the produce in, and then there's two outputs, like two chutes for things to come out. One chute is where the pulp comes out, and the other chute is where the juice comes out. So the juicer separates the pulp from the juice. That's what makes it a juicer. And then a blender is where you put your produce in, you close the lid or you put the top on and you press the button and it blends everything up together. And what that does is that blends in all of the soluble and insoluble fiber. You have everything together in a smoothie. Now, what's better? The answer is they're both really good. And they're both really good for different things. I know, I can tell Tracy was like, Crystal, how are you going to answer this question because I'm only using smoothies? Okay, all right. Yeah, it's amazing how touchy the subject is for people. Like I can tell when I'm setting it up, there's some white knuckles happening, right? But yeah, they're both good. If you're going for the instant infusion of hydration and nutrients and minerals, juice is absolutely best. If you're going for easy to digest nutrients that are loaded with fiber, really good for you, very healthy meal replacement, that's a smoothie. I use them both. I wake up in the morning, I have a juice. About whenever I'm hungry, it could be 30 minutes, it's usually more like an hour later, then I have a smoothie. I do both on a regular day-to-day basis. Now, the program that we created helps people navigate a juice cleanse. So we have a whole period of time that's juices and smoothies and solid food for a while you're discovering, okay, how do I lighten up what I'm eating? And then you come to a period of time where it's just juice. And the just juice part is great because it gives you something completely different, that throws your whole body for a hello, what are you doing? What is this? And it's almost like giving yourself your own vision quest in the middle of life. Like, wow, can I really do this? And it's fascinating. So before I go too far that way, so juices and smoothies. Is that clear? You got that? Was that really well done, Tracy?
Oh, that was very well done, and thank you for permission to not have to throw away my NutriBullet. I live off the grid, and trying to find something that has the BTUs that my solar system can, pull from and draw to without turning on a generator every morning. The NutriBullet is perfect for those of us that are off the grid because it's just so simple. And I really get frustrated with the cleanup. And then, you got to find somebody with chickens to give all of the pulp to and all of that. So just, blending the whole thing and drinking it. But tell me a little bit about the average person. We'll just group everybody together. The average person that may be, your moniker is juicing for weight loss. So maybe there's some of us out there that are on a plateau with our weight, that are maybe just 10 to 15 to 25 pounds, above our goal. Mm-hmm. And how long would you say the transition period is of juicing and smoothieing and a meal before their body is ready to handle a 3-day juice cleanse? Because I know if you go straight from eating total yucky to trying to do the juice, you're going to fail. It's just setting yourself up. So how long do you transition, and should people be ready to do that?
Absolutely, yes. 2 weeks, and the good news is it's built into the program. So the program is called Juicing for Fat Loss, and that's exactly what it does. And one of the reasons it's so successful is because of that 2-week preparation phase. I've had people, one man in particular, email me and say, all right, I've just finished my 2 weeks of preparation. I have lost 25 pounds already.
Wow.
I know, that's pretty great, right? Now, he started out at 315, so he had more to lose. Here's the cool thing about juicing. I am a small person. I have a small frame. When I juice, I can juice for 3 days, I can juice for 5 or 7 days, and yes, I go down a few pounds. My body definitely changes shape, but I don't get emaciated, and I still have some energy. there are other people who have lots more, like stored fat is stored energy. So there are people who have more stored energy in their bodies than I do, and so they have more to let go of. They have more to power them through their cleanse. Those are the people who will reduce their weight by a larger number. Make sense?
It does make sense. And what a positive mindset for those of us who are carrying a little more stored energy than we'd like to. And Kristen that says there's some good comments through the stream, so let's pop over to see what people are asking about.
There's a really good comment from Cheryl Locke saying that pulp is good for drying to make sauce thickener or dog treats, and also to feed to bunnies. And she also says you can put it in your compost, which I think is fabulous.
That's what we do with ours.
This is a great question from Phil, saying he's curious how juicing affects inflammatory issues due to the sugar in the fruit and vegetables. And I thought that was a really interesting question.
Yeah, absolutely. So juicing is actually, there are lots of anti-inflammatory properties in juice. And this is one of the things I actually did a lot of research when I put this program together. So there's a lot of, like I actually cite scientific studies done in universities, real studies. And one of the things that all the studies agree on are the anti-inflammatory properties of juice. Now remember, there's a difference at this point between juice and smoothies. But juice definitely has some anti-inflammatory properties, especially when you're juicing things like ginger, celery, cucumbers. Most all, how's that for wording for you? Most vegetables have anti-inflammatory properties. Do be careful how much fruit you put in your juices. Use a couple of apples, a couple of green apples for sweet, but if you go over the top, some people, especially at the beginning, oh, I need to sweeten it up. So they start off with a base of 70% apples and pears and berries, and it tastes pretty good, but to really get the most benefit, your juices are best green or red, because beets are fantabulous.
I love beets. And we have a self-professed sugar addict in our circles and in our crowd, and I don't know if she's out there, Chandra Higgins, if you're out there, there is a way to get you your sugar in a healthy thing that does not include brownies and ice cream, just saying. So we've made the decision to start trying this. We've gone through transition. Our body is obviously starting to feel 100% better. And then now is the time for our 3-day cleanse. Can you give us a few minutes about what happens after that, and how do we incorporate the post 3-day cleanse? Do we go straight back to an intensive preparation thing? What happens after that? And then we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good question. It's almost like you've actually been in reading the program, Tracy. It's really great. I know, she's like, yeah, look at me. So you do the cleanse, and your cleanse can go from 3 days all the way up to 10 if you want to do it longer than 3. You're welcome to, but we only support up to 10, because after that it becomes something different called a juice feast. So the transition back to solid foods is the other very important step, because juice cleansing is actually easy. You make juice, you drink juice. That's all there is to it. It's amazing how much more time you have in your day when you're not preparing meals all the time or thinking about what am I going to eat next. It's really amazing. The challenge is going back to solid food. And that's because your taste buds have shifted. Things taste so good. I mean, even just eating an apple is just like, whoa, flavor and texture explosion. This is so good. I just want to inhale this apple, but your stomach's not ready for that. So if you eat, gobble up your apple, you're going to end up with stomach cramping and bloating and not fun. So there is a whole protocol. In fact, I do step-by-step 3 days of here's exact menus for you to follow. And basically, you're shifting back to what you were doing just before you started your cleanse. So we're starting with having juice in the morning, a smoothie for breakfast, and then the first day, everybody's a little different. I have friends who can eat avocado their first day and be fine. If I ate avocado the first day, I would be like in a ball on the floor cramping. So it just depends on your body type and how you process things. And trust me, it'll only take one time eating the wrong thing. You will have learned your lesson after that. So I waited until the second day to start adding a little bit of avocado back into the menu. Simple salad for dinner. Your second day, juice in the morning, smoothie for breakfast, salad for lunch. Dinner can be a salad accompanied by like some steamed quinoa. It'll be nice, especially after a few days, to have something warming in your body. So steamed quinoa is fantastic. It's very easy to digest. That's the idea of how to transition, nice and easy.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. There's a lot of people out there who think they can't live without their coffee or their tea or something hot in the morning. Is there any adverse reaction to warming up your juice and drinking it almost like a soup broth?
Yes, there is.
Does that kill some of that happiness in there?
Yeah, you're going to lose your enzymes that way. But what you can do is have herbal tea. Oh. So go ahead and, yes, you can have all the herbal, non-caffeinated tea you like. So chamomile, peppermint, ginger tea is a very good accompaniment for your cleanse. Yeah, so you can have warm tea. You can have warm things. And I will say there's also, best time of year to cleanse is right about now, springtime. Just the natural energies of cleansing are already happening. Fall's the second best time. It works well in the summer. The winter, especially if you live in a place that's cold in the winter, it's more of a time to restore and rejuvenate. It's not such a big time to cleanse unless you have a clear signal from your body, hey, it's time to cleanse, let's do it. In that case, you have everything you need, go for it. Yeah.
Very good. So you make it sound so easy. And the getting into, I guess it would be individual. I don't eat a whole lot of processed food. I try to get at least 90% of my diet non-processed. I try to know, what I'm eating, where it's coming from, and all of that. But I still know that, the starches that build up from my breakfast potatoes that I eat occasionally, usually every Sunday when my husband's home, we have, that's our decadent breakfast day, and it's a couple of slices of bacon and our eggs and potatoes. But I guess everybody's different as to their choice to start doing this and start eliminating and really going for a more pure and healthy way. It's got to make them feel 100% better. So I'm going to just share real quick. You're talking about eliminating. This is a really quick. That's one challenge that people have. Oh, I've got to eliminate this and take this out. You don't have to eliminate anything. Just replace things. It's so much nicer when you have something. Because if I'm eliminating something, great. Now I have a void. And what do I fill that void with, right? So if you just replace it, now you have ease. Like now I know instead of having coffee in the morning, I actually enjoy having juice in the morning, or I enjoy having herbal tea, or I enjoy, there's something else I like. It's not like I'm, denying myself. I think that's how our decadent Sunday breakfast started is, we're going to be decadent one day a week, and the rest of the time I do a green drink with spirulina in it, and we've got, 10 or 15 other different fun recipes. But we are a few minutes long, but we were a few minutes delayed starting, trying to get comment tracker working. Are there any comments out there for us, Kristen?
I'm just having a wee laugh at Cheryl, who's saying, note, Cheetos do not juice.
Oh my gosh. Cheryl, you have to be on our hangout this Saturday. We're doing a hangout called The Top 5 Foods Not to Juice. The top 5 foods you should never juice. And you know, it's really funny. I was just talking to Artemis today saying, honey, I'm going to tell everybody Cheetos don't juice well. And you just said it right there. That's so funny. You're right. They don't juice well.
You know, I think last week she tried to grow Cheetos in Phil's garden. So, yeah, she's all about the Cheetos there. That's good. So I hope we've inspired you. I hope Crystal's inspired you, because I'm telling you, I don't know. I think my next step needs to be one more replacement, because I do my green drink in the morning. I generally eat something at lunchtime, salad-wise, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a smoothie and not a juice. I don't get hungry in the morning. My green drink generally lasts me a good, you know, probably 3-4 hours, and but there is some spirulina in there. Sometimes there's some yogurt, you know, some good Greek yogurt in there for protein and everything else if I'm really, you know, hungry. But I think it's really, I love the tidbit you said about slow down and enjoy it. Chew your juice. And I know that for me that really helps when I don't just go, against my green drink and then run out to the office. If I really sit and enjoy it as if it were a meal. So what is your call to action for those of us who are scared, nervous, intimidated? And if you can include in there your favorite juicer, because that was one comment we told some pre-week show folks that we'd get to is what is your favorite actual piece of equipment?
My favorite juicer is called the Omega Vert, and it's the newest model is the 400 model. So it's Omega Vert 400. It's my favorite because it's the fastest, easiest to clean juicer I've ever worked with. And it juices in such a way that your juice will stay really good and viable and enzyme active in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. So I can juice a gallon at a time and drink it over a few days. That's why it's my favorite juicer. Now, my call to action, especially for people who are, on the juicing fence, is, you know, with all of this stuff, any lifestyle transformation, just take one step at a time. Just one thing at a time, and never eliminate, always replace.
Fantastic advice. Never eliminate, always replace. Yeah. That's amazing. I love that call to action. So tell us how we can get a hold of you.
You can find me here on Google+, Krystalle Keszainn. You can also visit juicethisup.com, and where you can download a free report about the top 7 juicing newbie mistakes and how to make sure you avoid them and juice like a pro. And it's a great report. There's some really good tips in it about juicing. And then you could find us at juicingforfatloss.tv. What are my websites on?
What do you want? And say it again. Juicingforfatloss.what?
.tv, like television.
Oh, okay. I thought you said .Susie.
No, .tv, like television, like the Hangout show we put on every Saturday that you can find on our Juicing for Fat Loss page here on Google+.
They do a fantastic show. I watched quite a few of them in preparation for this, and they just, the chemistry between you and your husband is just a joy to see, and it's very fun. So if you're not doing anything on Saturday mornings, turn off SpongeBob SquarePants or whatever the kids are watching and go find some juicing inspiration. And Krista, it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to have you, and we're going to totally have you back one day for a Spirit Quest conversation. Living in northern New Mexico, there's a very good access to sweat lodges around here. I've done quite a few of them. I've never had the opportunity to hike around in the woods for a couple of days for a true Spirit Quest. Love to do that. And anyway, we will say goodbye. We are all ready for next week's show, which is going to be What's Your Path to Spirituality? And it is going to be amazing. The trailer's already recorded and posted, so be looking around Healthy You community. And my call to action is take one thing. I don't want to steal her words by saying replace, but take one thing and make one little change in your life to help you get a step closer to whatever your health goals are. And if that's juicing, that's fantastic. Take one step closer. At least start with an apple. Put the French fries down and have an apple, and before you know it, you'll be juicing pretty quickly. So with that, we'll say goodbye as we're 8 minutes over, and wonderful wingman work going on at the end of the room. Yay! And we'll say goodbye, everybody.